Most traders spend years trying to get consistently profitable. They buy courses, they switch strategies, they learn new setups, and they still can't crack it year after year after year. And it's not because they weren't smart enough or they didn't find the secret strategy or the secret sauce. It's because nobody actually told them the harsh reality when it comes to trading. Getting good at trading and doing it as fast as you can is not about learning more. It's not about more indicators, more terminology, more strategies, more instruments, more time frames. It's not more. It is about doing a handful of specific things and stopping or combing out the things that are keeping you stuck or not working for you. I have been trading for over a decade, 11 years now. And no, I did not learn when I was 14. I started trading when I was 23 years old. I've been able to help thousands of traders, from those that have never even placed a trade before, never even looked at a chart, all the way to experienced traders who've been doing this for years but have been stuck. And the ones who improved the fastest all had the same thing in common. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 things that's actually going to get you there faster than anyone else, or at least faster than me for that matter. Now, before we get into this, I'm going to be so for real with you. Getting good at trading does not happen overnight, but what I'm about to share with you will make sure that it doesn't take you longer than it needs to. Point 1, to progress fast, approach trading like a beginner. Before we get into anything else, I need you to approach what I'm about to share with a completely open mind. If you can make me that promise, I think we can make some progress. And here's why I say that. Based on my own experience and my ability to see thousands of other traders, the ones who are the hardest to work with are not the beginners, believe it or not. It's not breaking everything down from A to Z that is the hardest. It is always the experienced traders. They come in with so much going on. They've already got their own setups that they like, their own biases that they have, their own habits that they've developed over time. So many opinions about what works and what doesn't, that it's harder for someone that knows too much to actually bring it back down to the basics. And that is exactly what holds them back. The traders that I have seen improve the fastest are the ones that have the ability to bring it back to the basics, to dumb it down, to strip it back, and approach it as though they were starting from scratch. So don't let what you've learned before cloud your judgment or cloud what you're getting ready to learn. So do this. Whatever experience you have coming into this, put it aside for just the next few minutes. Point 2, commit to one. And really, that goes for a lot of things in life. But if you can commit to one thing, and there is a very famous quote that Bruce Lee once said, is that, and I'm gonna butcher this because I do it every time, but I fear not the man who has mastered 1,000 punches or 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who has mastered one kick 1,000 times. I'm telling you, the same goes for trading. The man that tried to master 1,000 different strategies ended up being the master of none and is not profitable. But the one that mastered the same strategy 1,000 times is the profitable one. So let me explain this. If you want to progress fast, you need to adopt the 1-1-1 rule. What does that mean? One strategy, one instrument, one time frame. Most traders are doing the exact opposite. They're watching 5 time frames all at once. They're running 3 different types of entry models, and they're trading all across multiple instruments. And they're wondering why none of this is working, why none of this is clicking. The issue isn't that any of them are wrong. There's tons of strategies out there. Many that are backed behind literal just data and stats, have been back tested, have been proven. So the issue isn't that any of the strategies are wrong, it's that you cannot get good at one of them if you're splitting your focus on 100 different things. It's when you can start to hyperfixate or hyperfocus on one of each of these things. That's when something shifts. That's when it all shifts. There's less noise, there's less second guessing, there are less layers between you and an entry, there's not so many confluences. You can just see a clear setup. You already know your instrument because you've watched that same instrument for so long, and you see the same patterns. That's where the real progress happens. So I'm going to say this one more time for you, just in case that didn't click and you need to hear it a different way. If you can master one time frame, one instrument, and one setup, the likelihood and the probability of you progressing so much faster is so much higher. You are getting to know this instrument, the types of moves that it makes, the patterns that it makes. You develop a pattern recognition with the way that it moves. You've mastered this specific time frame, so you know how fast it moves during a certain session, or when it moves and when it doesn't, when it consolidates or when it goes. And then when it comes to the strategy and the setup, it's like the back of your hand. You know the setup so well because you've done the same setup so many times. When you see it, it's clear. There's no hesitation, there's no second guessing, there's no micromanaging. You see a clear setup and you take it. That right there, if you take anything from this video, I'm telling you, that right there will help you progress faster than most traders out there is the 1-1-1 rule. Point 3, journal every trade. Most traders have no earthly idea what they're doing. They're shooting in the dark. They're just closing their eyes, throwing at something, seeing if it sticks. If you don't have any data to go back and analyze, you are flying blind, my guy. You got to go back and see the data, see what worked, see what didn't, so that you can start to narrow down. Most traders have no idea what's actually working for them. And I was in the same boat, so hear me out. The first 3 years of trading, if you had asked me what my best setup is, or what my best time frame is, or my best strategy, what conditions I should avoid, I wouldn't have been able to answer any of those questions. All I could tell you is I'm either red or green at the end of the month. Journaling fixes that. When you log every trade, patterns start to pop up. You start to be able to identify, oh, these things have this in common. My winners have this in common. My losers have this in common. You can start to see what you should avoid, what you need to double down on, what conditions are in your favor, what aren't, what sessions do you do best in, which ones do you not do best in, what mistakes do you keep making, do you overtrade, is there something that your Fridays have in common, or your Mondays have in common, or your last day of the month, or your first few minutes of the session. You'll never be able to identify what these all have in common unless you track it, unless you journal it. I found one of my best setups just by simply taking the time to journal and track my trades, analyze every single one of them, and then put them side by side to see what they have in common. And with all of this information and this data and these stats, I was able to identify that when it comes to my specific strategy, the setup that had 3 touch points on the trend line, that had a week's worth of data, that was a low risk scenario and in trending markets, all had the best stats. That right there was my A+ setup. So just by simply going through my trade history and analyzing these trades and seeing what they had in common was a huge shift for me. I would have never known that the 3 touch point trendline break would have been my A+ setup. So your edge is already in your data. You've got it there. You just need to analyze it and track it. You just haven't looked. So do this if you haven't already. Start tracking every single trade. The setup, the entry, the trade management, the exit criteria, the result. Do it consistently, weekly if you can. And if you want something that makes this automatic, I use something called TradeZella to track my trades. There's a link in the description below with a discount. Point number 4, before you go live, practice exactly the way you plan to trade. I've seen so many traders, and my sister is the most recent one included, where traders will simulate or practice or paper trade with unrealistic amounts of money, or just instruments that they maybe can't even afford, risk that they wouldn't actually be able to take on, and account balances that they don't actually have. They skip the process and then go straight to just a giant account size. And then when they go live, they wonder, where did it all go wrong? The habits that you build before you actually go live are the habits that you bring with you along your trading journey. So if you're sloppy when you practice, you're gonna be sloppy when you go live. Your brain doesn't separate the two. You've already built these habits, you've already reinforced these bad habits. Your brain just naturally does what it's used to and what it's done before. So before you ever put actual money on the line, make sure that you are simulating or paper trading or demo trading with a very realistic amount of money. And not only that, maybe that part a lot of people understand, and maybe that piece of advice is regurgitated and all over, and maybe everyone understands it and that's just well known. What you also need to do is when you're sim trading or demo trading, you need to be trading the same exact rules, the same process, the same discipline every single time. So don't strategy hop while you're sim trading, or use different entry criteria while you're sim trading, or exit criteria, or different types of risk. You need to keep it as precise and as similar to when you're going to go live as possible. But the goal when you're sim trading is to do all of your experimenting there, but then start to comb out what's not working for you, and then work your way towards that 1-1-1 that we talked about earlier. That one instrument that you like the most, that one time frame that you felt the most comfortable with, that one strategy that really resonated with you. So do this. Before you go live, set one rule. If you wouldn't do it with your hard-earned cash, then don't do it sim. Point 5, expect the ultimate psychological test and prepare for it before it arrives. At some point, trading is going to test you. It's going to put a mirror right in front of your face and show you the worst parts of yourself. And know that this is not going to be because of your strategy. It's going to be because of you. The losing streak, a big drawdown, a trade that you were so married to that you couldn't let go. So the ones that are able to get through that the fastest are the ones who already expected it, already expected these emotions to pop up, already expected these feelings to boil over before they actually happened. So when they experience the feeling of wanting to revenge trade, or a loss not going in their favor, or a trade not going in their favor, or being so certain about a position that's not working out, it didn't completely throw them off. They were like, oh, these feelings are natural. These are normal. This is normal psychological, human things that I need to work through. The traders who are going to struggle with that the most and are going to take the longest to work through are the ones that didn't even expect it to begin with. They were blindsided. They didn't know that they need to come up with coping strategies to help work through these different emotions. Instead, they thought something was wrong with them or their strategy or their instrument or their time frame or the market conditions, and not just the psychological human brain, what it naturally does. And they'll either blow their account up, or they'll switch a strategy yet again, or they'll just give up entirely. So if you know the test is coming and you know that you're going to be tested to the absolute maximum, you're already prepared, you're already one step ahead. Now you can decide how you advance through it. How do you move through it? What are your coping strategies going to be? How are you going to respond? How are you going to react? That one thing alone is going to save you months of absolute setbacks, of questioning everything, some deep, dark places that I've been in before, and I'm sure most of you guys have been in before. If you're just not blindsided by it and you're prepared for it, and maybe even one step ahead, you've got coping strategies in place, you are going to work through those times so much faster than the average trader who is just experiencing these things for the first time. So do this. Expect it. When things get hard, remind yourself this isn't a surprise. This isn't new. You're prepared for this. Don't let it take you back to square one. Don't let it make you spiral. Don't let it make you go on tilt. Prepare for it. Make it simpler than you think it needs to be. Most traders think that more information and more knowledge equals more trading profits, and it really doesn't. We are in a time where there is so much information, an absolute plethora of information. You've got AI, you've got YouTube videos, you've got courses, you've got black holes of information, of strategies, of indicators, of instruments, of knowledge. There is so much. That's not the issue. The issue isn't the knowledge. It's the fact that there is way too much. It is too easily accessible, if I'm being so for real. But most traders think that it's more knowledge that they need, more strategies, more indicators, more instruments, more complexity, and it's really not. Every trader that I've seen make a breakthrough has done the opposite. They stripped everything back. They've gotten rid of half the things that they got on their chart, which is not necessary, and they've simplified their rules so that they had less to think about in the moment. You already have to make a decision in the moment. So the least amount of obstacles and the least amount of layers in between you and an entry, the better. The clearer you can see it. So I understand that complexity a lot of the time will feel like progress, but all it really does is just give you more things to think about before you take an entry. The traders who are truly consistently profitable are not running complicated systems or complicated strategies. They've just mastered the simplicity. They've mastered the simplified version. They've mastered something simple. So do this. Look at your current setup and ask yourself, what could I take away that's not helping me? What can you take out that will leave you with a clear, repeatable system? That's the version you want to master. Point 7. The better you get, the more trading becomes about you, not the market. Most traders will spend years trying to perfect their entry, perfect their strategy, perfect their exits. But at some point, the strategy is not the problem. You are. I don't mean to laugh. I've just been doing this for so long that I remember seeing myself 11 years ago thinking that I need this perfection when it comes to the markets, and then realizing that there is no perfection in the markets. This is purely probabilities. So I don't mean to laugh. It's just that I can see my younger self really struggling with this. And then 11 years later, since I've already gone through it all, I just know you're not going to find that perfection you're looking for in the markets. You just need to be able to work with probabilities, and you need to be able to work with yourself. Be as self-aware as you possibly can. That's where you can aim for perfection. And even that, I mean, we're human. We're not going to be perfect. So at some point, back to my point, at some point, it's not the strategy that is the problem or that needs the perfection. It's you. Your consistency, your discipline, your ability to follow your own rules, even when it gets hard and you don't want to follow your own rules. That's the real variable here. So the traders that can master this early are the ones that make so much more progress and find so much more success so much faster. They work on themselves just as hard as they work on their setups. How do you manage a win? How do you react to a loss? Can you have this self-restraint when you feel FOMO happening? When you realize this is not an entry based on the strategy I just feel like I need to be in? How do you react to those moments? Can you find the discipline to not take a trade, to not act impulsively? The sooner that you can identify these things about yourself and accept these things, the better. The faster you're going to get there. And all of these points in this video are for you to progress faster, to not spend months or years wrestling with these issues that all traders struggle with. So take it from someone who's been doing this for a decade now, that I'm in a position to where I can go back and kind of laugh at my younger self and be like, man, you spent an absurd amount of time with this when you really didn't need to. So do this. Start paying as much attention to yourself as you are to the markets. That's where the next level is. That's where you start to make improvements. That's where you start to see the speed in your progress. So we started this video talking about traders who just are going in circles, wondering why it's not clicking after years of trading, after years of knowledge, after years of information. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's because nobody ever told you what actually moves the needle. So now you know. Now, the only thing left here is to go and apply all of these steps. And if you want to take it further and you want to go beyond mindset, beyond psychology, beyond self-awareness, beyond the average struggles, and actually learn the strategy that I use or the system that I use, I'm hosting a free masterclass this Wednesday where I walk you through my exact trading model, how to build this the right way from the ground up, how to strip away all the previous knowledge, or how to start your journey of knowledge if you don't have any experience, how to build this the right way from the ground up. The link is in the top line of the description below. And thanks, guys. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, turn that bell on for notifications so that you know every single time I post a new video. I am Tori Trades. I've been trading for 11 years. I am a trendline trader, so be sure to follow for more tips and tricks on trendline trading.